let's deep dive into the data. If there was one issue that the Congress raised across the country in all election-bound states, then it was that of caste census to find out the OBC population in India, and apparently, as Rahul Gandhi said, to do an X-ray of the country's backward population. But if there is one message that the results of the 4 state elections are giving, it is that this OBC card by the Congress party has been rejected soundly by the voters. Most people thought that after Nitish Kumar's masterstroke, where in Bihar he released caste numbers on Gandhi Jayanti, that issue people thought would yield political gold. But it was not to be. 3 states of the Hindi heartland have stood solidly behind PM Modi and the BJP. And these are the states, by the way, which have a big population of SCs, STs and OBC. Now, let's look at the figures. What do we have? In Chhattisgarh, and let's look at the numbers here. In Chhattisgarh, the OBC population is at 45.5%. SC and ST numbers are here. We have JVC Shriram, gem route to decode this data. We'll also talk about Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Telangana and the OBC voter percentage. But JVC Shriram, you know, it helps that PM Modi himself is an OBC and he talks about it. But look at the results that the BJP has managed to achieve.
See, in Chhattisgarh specifically, if we go state by state, the kind of seat allocation which had been given by the BJP, whether it's, bringing in Arun Sahu, who's a Sahu community. Sahu community had been feeling a little bit of being neglected by the existing Congress government. O.P. Chaudhary. These are tall OBC leaders who had taken the role in Chhattisgarh. And as you rightly said, also the fact that Mr. Narendra Modi himself comes from the OBC community. And the kind of Karyakartas, okay, it's a question of ability of the Karyakarta to probably go and seek votes from their community. That makes a huge difference. And all the welfare schemes of Modi ji had reached the OBCs. And somewhere in Chhattisgarh, even Mr. Narendra Modi, even in rallies he mentioned that what I want to give, PM Awas Yojana, your CM is stopping it. And that is hurting the poor people. And Chhattisgarh, northern Chhattisgarh and southern Chhattisgarh, Jaimur will agree with me, is filled with a lot of poor people. It is a central Chhattisgarh, which is actually a lot of trading community, business community. As a result of which, OBC census, number 1, would not be accepted by the OBC people of Chhattisgarh. And more importantly, a lot of OBC leaders had been given prominence, and all this had worked in favor of BJP at Chhattisgarh.
Let's look at the map that you were talking about, Jay. Let's deep dive into the data region-wise.
Yeah. The map is fascinating. Now, this is the northern edge. This is the southern edge. Okay. Look at 2018. It's completely green. The Congress had both. The BJP was in fact restricted to a small pocket between Bilaspur and Sarguja. This is what the BJP was remaining at. Come to 2023, it's a complete switch. All those people, the voters who had not voted for the BJP, go in mass swath here for the BJP. A big support for the BJP in the tribal areas and a big support for the BJP in the northern areas. What's important, Pranesh, is that the support now is cutting across social and physical space, which means any divisive card that the opposition might have wanted to play of a segregation based on a caste census has perhaps just not appealed. We don't even know if that was an issue for the voters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's look at the next state. We've seen Chhattisgarh. Here are the numbers for Madhya Pradesh. And, look at the staggering result that the BJP has managed to achieve. Is this courtesy, the OBCs in Madhya Pradesh stand between 45 and 48%. Look at that number, JVC Shriram.
I think, most of the opinion poll survey, which went into the caste data, they said anywhere between 54 and 64% of OBCs are supporting BJP. And when caste census was talked about by Congress party, one of the Congress leader came off record, but mentioned that, what are we talking about caste census to OBC? Now, BJP has got right from the lowest level Karyakarta is an OBC person to that of the Prime Minister, who's also the OBC. As a result of which, OBC had completely consolidated in the Madhya Pradesh state. And then added to that was everybody said, tribals are not going to come to you. Now, both in Madhya Pradesh and in Chhattisgarh, we are seeing even the tribals have come and joined the party. But I can tell you, at Madhya Pradesh, it is the OBC vote which has clearly gone, because you have Praglad, who's also who's also an OBC leader. You have Narendra Singh Tomar, who's an OBC leader. You have Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who's himself an OBC leader. So you have a galaxy of OBC leaders, and that appealed to the masses.
Not
Jay.
only that, see, there's another way to look to it, and I'm just taking forward the point that Sriram has been making. See, the entire appeal of a pure caste-based census and politics appeals to places which are completely agrarian and have not come out towards somewhat industrialization. Industrialization, emergence of a new service and trading class creates other opportunities for upward mobility. And I think that has happened in most of the states. Therefore, to assume that some sort of a caste-based pitch that works in one state might be appealing all across, it may just not work. You know, that's a mistake the Congress made in assuming that the pitch was working.
And I want to add one more thing. Just one more thing is that Chhattisgarh is a state which returned BJP thrice.
Right.
Which means anti-incumbency was there only in 2018.
Right.
But Congress is not able to even hold on to one power.
One term.
Anti-incumbency. Look at Madhya Pradesh. Jay said voter fatigue. Where is the voter fatigue? Voters have come and voted for BJP and Mama and Modi. And it's a double-engine sarkar.
We'll talk about it. Let's look at the two other states, Rajasthan and Telangana, quickly. Then I have a straight question for both of you. This is the number for Rajasthan. Look at this number here at the top. 52% OBC vote. SCs are 17.8% and STs 13.4%. Now the question is, in fact, let's look at the next state also. Let's look at the number in Telangana. 51%. Now, although BJP has, not done as well as it wanted to or would have hoped to, but this is still a big talking point considering the gains they've made. Now the question is, what is the message? Because, India bloc netas would have us believe that large number of people in the country are for caste census. Without the caste census, OBCs are voting for PM Modi.
100%, yes. In fact, in Rajasthan, I go a step further. You have an OBC chief minister in Ashok Gehlot, who comes from a Mali community, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Jay, and you have an OBC chief minister, and BJP had been giving only Rajputs, have been given the position. But in spite of it, they're trusting because delivery had happened, anti-incumbency. And as far as Telangana is concerned, I think Jay would agree with me because we had discussed it before. Whatever cards which BJP had taken in terms of an OBC CM, or an SC Madiga subcategorization, these may not yield results immediately, but these are long-term trump cards which would work. So what BJP needs to do is, needs to consolidate the OBC vote, because in the Telugu-speaking states, I keep reiterating this again and again and again, in the neighboring Andhra Pradesh, you have similar OBC population, but out of 175 MLAs in the assembly in Andhra Pradesh, 108 are from the upper caste, which means OBCs have been neglected in Telugu-speaking states,
right,
and they would have to continue and pick it up from there.
Jay, I'll come to you, but viewers, it must be mentioned that the Congress has already carried out a caste census in Chhattisgarh, but for reasons best known to them, refused to divulge the results in their election campaign. They promised to carry out a similar exercise in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh as well. But have people seen beyond the promises and the hypocrisy of those promises? Remember, it's not just Yogi Adityanath who called out the Congress's caste census promise as a junjuna. That's the term that he had used to describe Congress's promise of a caste survey. But even their own ally, Akhilesh Yadav, was scathing about the grand old party's doublespeak. Sample this.
Dominating caste narrative was an order of the day at some point in time, 90s. What has happened today? Today it stands complemented with good governance. That's the first thing I would like to say. The second thing that's very important, people have realized this whole parchi of caste census is basically linked to their own family welfare. That's very important. And where Modi ji had what said, हमारे लिए चार जातियां हैं, गरीब, नौजवान, बेटियां, महिलाएं, बहनें और किसान. This result underscores that need that when Modi is saying the trust factor is in Modi to deliver on the ground.
महोदय, ये जाति इनका एक झुंझुना है. जब सारे हथियार समाप्त हो जाते हैं तब पीडीए को आगे करके यह कोई घबराता नहीं दिया. हम तो 2017 भी फेस किए हैं, 2022 भी फेस किए हैं. 2017 भी और 2022 भी, 2024 भी और 2027 की तैयारी भी की जा रही है. महाकवि दिनकर, उन्होंने एक बात कही थी, मूल जानना बड़ा कठिन है, नदियों का, वीरों का. धनुष छोड़कर और गोत्र क्या होता है, रणधीरों का. पाते हैं सम्मान तपोबल से, भूतल पर सूर. जाति जाति का शोर मचाते केवल कायर क्रूर.
लोकसभा में मैं मेंबर था. उस समय कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार थी. कांग्रेस पार्टी के उस समय की लीडरशिप से न केवल नेताजी ने बल्कि शरद यादव जी ने, आदरणीय लालू प्रसाद यादव जी ने और दक्षिण भारत के जितने नेता थे, जितने दल थे, उन सब नेताओं ने मांग की थी कि जाति जनगणना होनी चाहिए. उस समय कांग्रेस पार्टी ने आश्वासन दिया कि हम आंकड़ा जारी करेंगे, आंकड़े लेंगे, लेकिन कभी आंकड़े नहीं आए. 1931 के बाद, आजादी के बाद अगर किसी ने जाति जनगणना रोकी थी तो वो कांग्रेस पार्टी थी.
Now, OBC is a complex social bloc. There are divisions within it and also discriminations that we'll talk about it. But remember, even after this verdict, you have the likes of Karti Chidambaram, who are making this about North and South. We'll talk about it after the short break. Stay with Times Now.